Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. It's gonna be a good one. This is all about mad genius.
Mad genius.
Yeah. Are you ready for this one?
Let's do it.
So this is for entrepreneurs. Obviously, it says that right in the title.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is gonna be really applicable to anyone who wants to shake things up.
Absolutely.
So whether that's with a business or just a personal creative project,
Yeah.
even just how you approach life in general.
I love that.
This is going to be good. So we're going to be looking at some excerpts from Randy Gage's audiobook,
Oh, Randy Gage?
Mad Genius. Have you heard of this?
Yes, I have. And this guy does not hold back.
He does not hold back. I'm telling you what this material is.
Yeah.
It's a little bit spicy.
It is. And one of the first things that he kind of dives into right away is that most of this, like, think outside the box advice
Oh, yeah.
is pretty much inside the box.
That's so true.
It's like you're trying to be innovative, but you're stuck in a rut to even think about innovation.
It's ironic.
It's very ironic. Yeah. And Gage's whole point is to break us free of those ruts.
Yeah.
Forget those 7-step processes.
Yeah.
And, you know, the neat labels, he says, Mad Genius is about embracing the messiness, the detours, the failures along the way.
So it's more about the journey than the destination.
What journey's the destination?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And he believes that everybody has this potential for genius, but it's up to us to cultivate it. And it starts with being engaged with work that really matters to you personally.
Really?
Yeah, he actually uses Placido Domingo as an example.
Oh, wow.
The opera singer, most singers at his level stick to a few signature roles, but he performs over 130 different operas. And why? Because he's passionate about it, and there's so much he wants to explore within that.
So he's not afraid to just dive right in,
Exactly.
get really immersed in the work that excites him.
That's a key takeaway for all of us. It's
Yeah.
about finding that passion, that drive that fuels your creativity, whether you're launching a business or tackling a personal project that's going to make all the difference.
Okay, so Gage, he really wants us to shake things up, right?
He does.
But then he also kind of throws out this idea that the problem with problem solving is it's a problem.
What?
Can you help us unpack that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, what he's saying is when we focus too much on solving problems, we're always looking backward, trying to fix what's already broken.
Okay.
And that keeps us from creating the future.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he has this really interesting example to kind of illustrate this. And it's a tech startup that he advised
Okay.
called Lineus. And they developed something called video query language.
VQR.
VQL, that's right. And even he admits that at first he didn't get it.
You and me both, right?
Yeah, like, what is this?
And even his super tech-savvy friends were scratching their heads.
So how did he go from, to like, oh, this is huge, this is going to be disruptive?
I think he shifted his focus.
Okay.
Instead of getting bogged down in what VQL was, he started asking, how can this be used to do things we couldn't do before?
Okay.
And that's when he saw that potential.
Give us an example.
Like, imagine searching a video. Like, you search Google. You want to find every time somebody says climate change, boom, instant, instead of watching, you're interacting.
That totally changes how I think about video.
Exactly.
It makes me think about what he was talking about with miracles, and he brings up this company, Verdant Technologies. They're doing all this crazy stuff with frequency manipulation, stronger concrete,
Yeah.
better crops. Oh, I guess sounds too good to be true.
Sounds like a miracle.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, when they first hear about it, they're probably pretty skeptical.
Right.
I know I was. But his point isn't that we should blindly accept everything that's presented as a miracle.
No.
Right? It's more that...
It's that what seems miraculous today might just be commonplace technology tomorrow. Because we're living in this exponential age where things are changing so rapidly.
I mean, just think 100 years ago, the internet would have been magic.
Exactly.
So the takeaway here is don't dismiss things as impossible too quick.
That's right. Don't let your skepticism shut down your mind
Yeah.
to what could actually be possible.
And speaking of things that can kill innovation, Gage has this story about trying to get a mortgage from Wells Fargo.
Ugh.
And it is hilarious and infuriating at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he talks about endless paperwork.
Clueless reps.
Clueless reps.
Yeah.
Just this feeling of being trapped in a bureaucratic nightmare.
And what's interesting is he uses this to illustrate this bigger issue of how large organizations can become so big and bloated
Yeah.
that they stifle innovation,
It's like they get so focused on just following the rules.
protecting themselves,
Yeah.
and they forget about what matters.
Right?
Serving their customers,
Yeah.
creating something valuable.
It makes you kind of look around your own life.
Absolutely.
And your work and say, well, wait a minute, are there places where I'm settling for mediocrity or just doing things the way they've always been done?
That's right.
And Gage would argue that those are exactly the places where we need some mad genius thinking.
Exactly, and he actually gives a great example of this with a simple question he asked on a trip to Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, Birmingham.
He noticed a sign that said, Birmingham International Airport,
Okay.
which, not exactly a global travel hub.
Not quite.
But Gage's curiosity got the best of him. He asked everyone he could, the taxi driver, the sky cap, the ticket agent.
I love this story.
Finally, after like 8 different people, he found out that there was a single Delta flight that connected to Aeromexico.
That's just one flight.
One flight?
So they could call themselves international.
Exactly.
I love that. And it makes me think about all the times I've accepted things
At face value.
at face value without ever questioning why.
That's his point. Exactly. That simple act of asking why can lead to unexpected discoveries and insights.
So we should be channeling our inner 5-year-old, always asking why.
Yeah, but it's not just asking. It's about being open to those answers, even if they challenge our deepest held beliefs. Gage tells this story about a speech he gave to the National Speakers Association where he intentionally provoked the audience.
Really?
He wanted to shake them out of their comfort zones.
That's a bold move.
It is. But sometimes we need a little jolt to wake us up from complacency.
I mean, is provoking people always the best way to get them thinking?
I don't know, but it's not about being mean-spirited or disrespectful.
Right.
It's about challenging assumptions.
So not furious when our beliefs are challenged.
Exactly. Entrepreneurs especially need to be comfortable with that kind of discomfort.
I like that a lot.
He goes on to share a story about Bruce Lee
Bruce Lee.
and his be like water philosophy.
Oh, yeah. I've heard this one be adaptable. Go with the flow.
But Gage digs into where this idea came from.
Okay.
And it actually stems from his training with his kung fu master, who emphasized adapting to your opponent's movements, flowing with them,
Instead of resisting.
instead of rigidly resisting. And Lee had this aha moment while sailing alone in Hong Kong harbor. He realized that water, seemingly soft and yielding, could eventually penetrate even the hardest substance.
That is a powerful image.
You can be strong without being inflexible.
And that's such a valuable lesson for anyone who's facing challenges and setbacks. And I think that's all entrepreneurs.
All the time.
And it makes me think about what he talks about later with building a mastermind.
Yes.
So surrounding yourself with people who will support you, challenge you, and help you stay on track.
He actually recommends building 2 masterminds.
Okay.
One internal and one external.
2 masterminds.
With yourself.
Oh.
And the internal one is about recognizing the duality in each of us.
Okay.
The part that wants to play it safe
Right.
and the part that yearns for growth.
Mm-hmm.
And then the external mastermind is about finding your tribe, those people that inspire you, hold you accountable, and help you reach your full potential.
So it's like building your own personal board of advisors.
Absolutely. People you can turn to for guidance, support, maybe even a little tough love when you need it.
And he really emphasizes that it's not about finding yes men.
No, you need people who will push you, question your assumptions, help you see things from different perspectives.
So we've got our masterminds in place. We're embracing discomfort. We're channeling our inner Bruce Lee. What else?
He talks about nurturing your inner artist.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on. I am not an artist.
He actually says that.
Oh, really?
It's not about being good at art. It's about the process of engaging in creative pursuits. It's freeing your mind, allowing for different kinds of thinking.
So even if I can't draw a stick figure,
Absolutely.
I can still benefit from getting in touch with my creative side.
He talks about how Einstein was a passionate violinist.
Oh, wow.
And there's actually a correlation between artistic hobbies and innovation.
Interesting.
It loosens up your thinking.
What kind of creative spark has I neglected? I wonder. I used to love to write poetry, but haven't done that in years.
Maybe it's time to pick up the pen again. You never know what might come out of it.
And he gives all these interesting examples of businesses and individuals who have really embraced this think different, act different philosophy.
I love that.
Like Larry Winget, the speaker who refuses to customize his presentations.
Yeah.
Alan Weiss, the consultant who demands upfront payment no matter how big the client is.
And even In-N-Out Burger.
Really?
He talks about how they have a cult-like following by sticking to their simple menu and high-quality ingredients.
Yeah, they don't try to be everything to everyone.
They just do what they do really well.
I like that a lot, and that makes me think, what's the accepted way of doing things in your field that you could challenge?
That's right. What rules can you break?
What rules can you break?
To create something unique and memorable.
I'm starting to feel inspired, but I've got to admit, I'm a little overwhelmed too.
I get it.
All this talk about mad genius thinking it's great, but where do I even begin?
Well, luckily he gives us some tools.
He does.
To help spark our genius.
Okay, I like this.
He talks about mind mapping, a visual way to brainstorm ideas. SCAMPER, a structured approach to analyzing and modifying existing concepts.
Okay.
And even analogy thinking, applying ideas from one field to another.
Okay, give me an example of how this might work in practice.
Imagine you're stuck on a problem at work.
It happens all the time.
You're trying to come up with a new marketing campaign or a new product.
Mm-hmm.
You can use mind mapping to visually explore different ideas without getting bogged down in linear thinking.
Okay.
Or use SCAMPER to analyze the problem from different angles, substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, reverse.
Wow, I like that.
Or analogy thinking can help you see the problem in a new light by drawing inspiration from totally different field.
I love all of this. It's like these tools are giving us permission to play.
Yes.
To experiment.
Absolutely.
And to break free from those habitual thinking patterns.
And that's ultimately what Mad Genius is all about, unleashing your creativity, embracing the power of unconventional thinking.
But taking risks can be scary.
Yeah.
What if we fail? What if people think our ideas are crazy?
He actually addresses that head on.
He does.
Playing it safe, he says, is the riskiest move you can make in this world.
So clinging to that comfort and familiarity.
That's actually holding you back.
Is holding us back.
He challenges us to embrace risk.
Okay.
Be comfortable with failure.
Okay.
And realize that those setbacks are often the stepping stones to your greatest successes.
And he says something else that's really interesting. He says, ask yourself this question. Would they burn your jersey?
Would they burn your jersey?
What does that even mean?
It's a way to gauge the passion you're creating.
Oh.
If you're not attracting any haters, you're probably not doing anything groundbreaking.
So having people disagree with you strongly.
It could be a good sign.
Is a good sign. It means you're really shaking things up.
It means you're making a difference.
I see the appeal of this mad genius thing.
You do.
But it also sounds like it takes a lot of courage and resilience.
It does. But he reminds us we don't have to do it alone.
Oh.
He stresses the importance of having people in our lives who will tell us the truth.
Even when it's not what we want to hear.
Even when it's not what we want to hear.
It's not just cheerleaders, but those trusted advisors that can give you honest feedback and help you stay on track.
Exactly. He's big on continuous learning and growth.
Okay.
Like attending seminars, workshops, even taking college courses in subjects totally outside your expertise.
Really, college courses.
Yeah.
At this age.
It's about expanding your horizons.
Yeah.
Exposing yourself to new ideas and new ways of thinking.
So constantly feeding your mind.
Yeah.
With fresh perspectives and inspiration.
Exactly. He even suggests taking a sabbatical.
Oh, wow.
Not just a vacation.
Okay.
A dedicated period of time for self-development and exploration.
A sabbatical, that sounds amazing.
Right.
But I don't think all of us can just take a year off to travel the world and write a manifesto.
Right.
Some of us are juggling work and family and, all the demands of daily life.
For those of us who can't get off to Bali, he offers some more practical tips.
Okay, good.
He talks about getting up early,
Oh, no.
taking advantage of those quiet, creative hours before the world wakes up.
I am not a morning person, but I can see how that could be a really productive time.
You can focus.
Yeah.
Get things done.
Without distractions.
Exactly. He also recommends scheduling thinking time into your week. A block of time where you unplug.
Unplug.
Disconnect.
Okay.
And just let your mind wander.
Okay.
No emails, no social media, no to-do lists.
Just pure thinking time.
Just pure thinking time.
I like that a lot.
And he also recommends reading certain books.
Yeah.
Calls them the fearsome foursome.
The fearsome foursome.
Works by authors like Stephen Pressfield and Seth Godin
I've heard of those guys.
that challenge conventional thinking and inspire creativity.
So be intentional about the information you consume.
Exactly.
Surround yourself with ideas that challenge you.
And inspire you.
And if we're feeling creatively blocked,
Yeah.
what does he suggest for that?
He's a huge fan of Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil, oh my God.
And he believes those shows are a testament to human potential.
They are amazing.
They are.
So imaginative and visually stunning.
If you're feeling stuck, he says just watch the first 5 minutes of any Cirque show and your imagination will be reignited.
It's like reminding ourselves that anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Creativity has no limits.
I love that a lot.
And to further spark those imaginative leaps,
okay, how do we do that?
ask what-if questions.
What-if questions.
Those seemingly impossible scenarios that can lead to those breakthrough ideas.
Give me an example.
What if we could manufacture underwater?
Okay.
What if there were no gravity?
I like that one.
What if money were no object?
Okay, I'm getting it now.
And he says don't edit or evaluate those ideas too quickly.
Okay.
Just let them flow. Let your imagination run wild and see what you come up with.
So embrace that childlike sense of wonder and possibility.
Absolutely.
And don't let that inner critic shut down those creative sparks before they even have a chance to ignite.
Exactly.
Okay, I think I can do that.
And he also suggests using a technique called extrapolation.
Extrapolation, what is that?
It's taking an existing situation and applying it in a completely different context.
Give me an example.
Like taking a concept from a radio ad and using it in a print ad for a hair salon.
Oh, interesting.
It's about making those connections, those leaps that can lead to innovative solutions.
I like that, taking something familiar and turning it on its head to see it in a whole new light.
And in the end, he leaves us with this powerful challenge.
What's that?
Stop settling. Start really living.
Stop settling, start really living.
It's a call to action, a reminder that we all have this potential for mad genius, but it's up to us to cultivate it, nurture it, and unleash it upon the world.
So what is your next thermo-fucking nuclear move?
That's a great question.
What audacious dream will you dare to pursue? The world is waiting for your genius. Don't let it stay hidden. That's a great question, but it also makes me think, you know, when we start embracing this mad genius path,
Yeah?
we're going to face resistance, right?
Absolutely. He's very upfront about that you're going to run into skepticism, doubt, maybe even hostility.
He actually says be worried if you don't have any haters.
Right.
What does he mean by that?
He means if everyone's patting you on the back and telling you how great you are,
Yeah.
you're probably not pushing the boundaries enough.
Oh.
You're not challenged. The status quo, real innovation is disruptive, and disruption makes people uncomfortable.
So a little bit of pushback means we're on the right track.
It could be a sign you're onto something.
Okay.
Now, of course, not all criticism is created equal.
Right.
But if you're truly challenging conventional thinking,
Yeah.
you're bound to ruffle some feathers.
And he says that's a good thing.
He does.
It means you're making people think.
As
You're shaking things up.
You're not just blending in.
But I imagine that kind of resistance can be tough to deal with,
It can.
especially when it comes from people we care about.
He talks about that too. He says sometimes the most painful resistance comes from our closest friends and family.
Oh.
They're not trying to be mean.
Right.
They just want to protect us.
From getting hurt from failing.
Exactly. They've bought into that play it safe mentality.
So much so that they can't even imagine us achieving something extraordinary.
And Gage encourages us to have compassion for those people.
Okay.
Understand that their fear comes from a place of love,
Right.
but also stay true to our vision. Trust our instincts, even when the people around us doubt us.
It takes courage to pursue a path that others might not understand.
It does.
So how do we find that balance
Yeah.
between honoring our dreams and, respecting the concerns of the people we love?
Well, that's why he emphasizes having at least one person in our lives,
Okay.
a trusted confidant,
Mm-hmm.
who will call us on our shit, as he puts it.
Oh, wow.
Someone who loves us enough to tell us the truth, even when it's not what we want to hear.
So not just a cheerleader,
No.
but someone who can give us honest feedback.
And help us see things from the different perspective.
Okay, I like that we all need that person in our lives, right?
We do.
That sounding board
Mm-hmm.
who can help us, sort of the brilliant ideas from the ones that maybe need a little more work.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got our trusted advisors in place. We're dealing with the resistance. We're staying true to our vision.
Yes.
What else does he recommend?
He's big on continuous learning and growth.
Okay.
Like attending seminars, workshops, even taking college courses in subjects totally outside of our areas of expertise.
Really, college courses at this age?
It's about expanding our horizons.
Yeah.
Exposing ourselves to new ideas, new ways of thinking.
So constantly feeding our minds with fresh perspectives and inspiration.
Exactly. He even suggests taking a sabbatical.
A sabbatical, that sounds amazing.
Right.
But not all of us can just take a year off to travel the world and write a manifesto.
Right.
I mean, juggling work and family and all the demands of daily life.
For those of us who can't just jet off to Bali,
Right?
he offers some more practical tips.
Okay, good. I like practical.
He talks about getting up early,
Oh, no, come on.
taking advantage of those quiet, creative hours before the world wakes up.
I am not a morning person.
But
I can see that can be a really productive time.
you can focus,
Yeah.
get things done without distractions.
Okay.
He also recommends scheduling thinking time into your week.
Thinking time.
Yeah.
What is that?
A block of time where you unplug,
Unplug.
disconnect, and just let your mind wander.
No emails, no social media, no to-do list.
Just pure thinking time.
Just pure thinking time. I like that a lot.
And he also recommends reading certain books. He calls them the fearsome foursome.
The fearsome foursome. Okay. I'm intrigued.
Works by authors like Stephen Pressfield and Seth Godin that challenge conventional thinking and inspire creativity.
So be intentional about the information you consume.
Exactly.
Surround yourself with ideas that challenge you.
And inspire you.
I can do that. And what about if we're feeling creatively blocked?
For that, he's a huge fan of Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil. Oh my gosh. I love Cirque du Soleil.
And he believes those shows are a testament to human potential.
They are amazing.
They are.
They're so imaginative and visually stunning.
If you're feeling stuck, he says just watch the first 5 minutes of any Cirque show and your imagination will be reignited.
Wow.
It's like reminding ourselves that anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Creativity has no limits.
I love that a lot.
And to further spark those imaginative leaps,
Okay, how do we do that?
ask what-if questions.
What if questions?
Those seemingly impossible scenarios that can lead to those breakthrough ideas.
Okay, give me an example.
What if we could manufacture underwater?
Okay.
What if there were no gravity?
Ooh, I like that one.
What if money were no object?
Okay, now I'm getting it.
And he says, don't edit or evaluate those ideas too quickly.
Don't overthink it.
Just let them flow. Let your imagination run wild and see what you come up with.
Embrace that childlike sense of wonder and possibility.
Absolutely.
And don't let that inner critic shut those creative sparks down before they even have a chance to ignite.
That's right.
And he also suggests this technique called extrapolation.
Yes.
Extrapolation, what is that?
It's taking an existing situation and applying it in a completely different context.
So give me an example.
He talks about taking a concept from a radio ad and using it in a print ad for a hair salon.
Interesting.
It's about making those connections, those creative leaps that can lead to those innovative solutions.
I like that, taking something familiar and turning it on its head to see it in a whole new light.
Exactly. And in the end, he leaves us with this really powerful challenge.
Oh, what's that?
Stop settling. Start really living.
Stop settling, start really living.
It's a call to action, a reminder that we all have this potential for mad genius, but it's up to us to cultivate it, nurture it, and unleash it upon the world.
So what is your next thermo-fucking-nuclear move? What audacious dream will you dare to pursue? The world is waiting for your genius. Don't let it stay hidden.
That's right. And that concludes our deep dive into Randy Gage's mad genius.
Wow, what a ride.
It was.
We hope you found it as inspiring and thought-provoking as we did.
Absolutely.
And maybe even a little bit life-changing. Remember, the journey to unlocking your creative potential is ongoing. And the possibilities are limitless. Go forth and create.
Yes.